Hello, hello. I am doing this again. You don't really know that probably, but this is my second time doing a live stream that is not live because no one can get on, because that's how I did that. But basically, I'm making sure that I don't mess up the fact that I am on here. But here's what is important. I'm just gonna be doing some writing, editing stuff right now for I'll actually show you that for this story that I've been working on. I guess this is not the one that I work on super intensely, but I've been working on this story, I guess, since January of this year, and maybe I guess technically December of this year. But if you're interested in looking at it, it's on my website. Yes, I'm plugging my website, although the people who are probably on here probably already know about my website. But yeah, there are just a few installments. There are 4 up here at the moment. Probably by the time, well, maybe not by the time you see this, but at some point, there will be 5, probably 6 up, because I just have delayed getting one of them up there. The reason why is actually what I'm going to be working on today. So today's a little bit of a mess, actually. The reason it's a mess is because I will actually, nah, it's fine. Is because I've been using chapters. You saw there were like 4 up. So the thing that I wrote for May, 5th month, the thing that I wrote for May is kind of bad. I won't lie, I don't like it, don't love it. But the part of the reason it's bad is, well, twofold. I was a little later on getting to it. But the other reason is that this is not chapter 5, it's supposed to be chapter 6. And that's a bit of a problem. Now, how that happened, I actually have a really strict, not strict, a lot of the content that's here should be in chapter 6, and I just didn't do the content that should be on chapter 5. So how that happened, essentially, I was trying to be, I guess, a bit cute with how I was telling the story. It just flopped a little bit, and I didn't give myself enough time to allow it to flop and for me to fix it or actually needing to send out the email. So basically, in this 4th chapter that you may or may not have read, I guess I should explain the way that this story works if you don't know. Basically, you will see that be real quick about it. I'll be quick. At the top of these, you'll see that says 1482, and then I don't remember what year I had for that one, 1465. Basically, with each of these story installments, it is going through a different, birth of the same family line. So it's this generational story just going birth by birth. It's the centering concept of every single story is the birth of the next generation is happening. And basically the person we followed in chapter 4 was Lily, and it was her giving birth to her son. Escante was the name that I gave him, but ultimately this is Lily's segment of the story, just in the same sense that her father, that I'm forgetting the name of, Grigori, had his thing, and it was his time while his wife gave birth to Lily. And the thing that happened was that I accidentally really messed up, where I liked the idea that I was going for, but I don't think it hit. So with chapter 5, I know I said I'm editing and writing, but I just am giving background for people. Maybe that's all I end up doing today because it is a little late. Um, but I think this is important just also in terms of thinking on a larger scale of editing, because right now you might be thinking editing is just changing words and things on the sentence, but this isn't the sort of editing that I'm doing right now. This is much more, this is tougher. Well, it's fun. It's kind of a lot more fun in some ways, but it's a lot tougher in terms of allowing your brain to be operating in it. I feel like, at least this is my personal preference. This is called more developmental editing. And essentially what happened with the story is that what I was trying to do was that Escante, never saw his children past the age of 4. I guess that's a very simple way of doing it. And essentially, his story was more of a story of his absence. And it was more of telling his story through the absence of him being there. But then it just ended up being the next kid's story in the line of stories, which would be Rory. So it ends up being Rory's story. So that's not really what I wanted to do. So Escante's story is different. So this is now leaving me needing to kind of write 2 stories. It's a little bit weird, I guess, because I have a little deadline where I need to send out the story by the 15th of the month. So I have till June 15th. But essentially what I ended up writing here was not Escante's story, but it was his son's story, but not even all of his son's story. Like, you'll see this is a much shorter word count than more of the other stories that I've done. There's a reason for that. It's because I didn't quite pack in enough. But basically the work that needs to be done now is a lot of, actually, I don't know why I went off the Word document just now for you guys, because the work that we're doing is actually more chopping and editing. Actually, I'm just going to show you guys the entire script. Awful. Sorry. Okay, that is how that works. I had messed this up in the previous iteration that I tried to do this in. We won't talk about that. But basically, I got Rory's chapter 6 stuff here, and basically what I need to do really fast is just a little chopping and moving around. So honestly, sorry, I'm sort of just reading it in my brain really fast. Honestly, had a moment of glory. This is really sad for me in terms of just needing to rewrite everything. Each of his children had a moment. Well, I think, yeah, I guess this was around where I messed up, but was doing that. Yeah, because we just have the first paragraph, Escante never saw his children. The story that they were told on his birth was loyally misleading to, wow, this isn't even written well right now either. This is atrocious. The only thing I can keep is probably the first sentence for that first paragraph. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess that's a spoiler. But what's interesting, so this is the fun part of this. So a lot of the stuff that's here is going to get cut because it's just background that Escante missed. But this does leave us with the question of what's his section? Because it's all about the births and he's just not present the whole time. Like, maybe there is stuff I can steal from here. Steal from this previous one. Yeah, but yeah, she because the mom just made up stories about stuff, and that's how I had him present in the story. Yeah, this is awful. Well, part of my problem is I also probably don't have quite enough research done, which is a whole other issue. There are a lot of issues that I'm dealing with this. And these would be simple enough, but this is also kind of my side project. This isn't the main project. Devoting this much brain power to this is quite atrocious. Yeah, sorry about all the tabs, but basically, Escante's story. Well, actually, what am I doing? What we can do is, the best way with an edit like this is we just kind of look around. I just need to dig for information. I've been telling the story kind of a month at a time. I'm usually working at it with month-long gaps-ish, So I kind of forget what the story even is, which is its own problem. Definitely could be doing this better, but again, this is a side project. It's not the main one I'm working on. But we skip around Louis' story. I ask Gante after the father, but we have a little bit of his childhood here because that's what happens naturally. A little bit of childhood comes up. And that's why normally having the information I had would be fine, but since he's just not there, he misses all of the stuff in the childhood. But that does, I guess, leave the question of, well, he does see them at the age of 4. So he, just his child, he would see Rory at the age of 4. So I guess we would need a section. I never saw them past the age of 4. So we're definitely going to need information of those first 4 years. See, this is the development stuff. This is the ideation that we need for getting stuff together. I keep thinking it's the wrong tab. But basically, we have just a little bit more of this. We have sorry, I keep thinking I'm going to get to the part that I'm trying to find next. I'm trying, because I have a sort of part in my brain that I'm trying to look for this that I know will be useful. He'd gone next morning, blah, blah, blah. So I think it was just that. Yeah, but yeah, he had battle. Oh, living with the memory of her father. Oh, okay. Battle, because he's just. Wow, that wasn't useful. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I really didn't give him much detail. I guess I have a lot of freedom. I know that he goes out and he fights battles and things, and he's just part of that time in like the Naples owned area. Again, this is just also I need to be doing a little bit of research, but I don't think that's the time to do this. I don't think the time to do this is right now. Unless I really felt like it, but I don't think that's the time. This is the time. I say that, yet I'm still going to it. It's just, I don't even have, I lost the actual source that I really needed, which is really unfortunate. The one that I used and that was good. Oh no, the advertisements have taken over. I didn't mean to be an advertisement. Okay, what we got, what we know is he's going to need to have a moment before the age of 4 where he's doing stuff. I think I'm just going to make notes for myself. Well, I know Rory's the oh wait, if it's any of his children, that might mean that Rory is like in his mother's womb at the time. He has 2 siblings, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it's I know this isn't very entertaining. Watching you just flip back and forth trying to remember what this story is about. But sometimes that's just what it is. But he'll need to have a moment with Rory. The story might be a little bit different than I'm remembering then, or like what I thought it was. I'm very much more of a discovery writer type, as you can probably guess by how I'm doing things. But Escante, he has really 2 options. He dies in battle, or he sort of comes home and doesn't see them. Because I think Rory not seeing his father ever is kind of counts. Actually, he doesn't have like 2 options. There's more. Where I don't think I think maybe he gets near the home. He has a moment. Scott needs a moment where he sees the idea of his children and has a resolution like that. But honestly, maybe he doesn't get that resolution. That's the strange thing about this story setup, because we're building on just the way in which life happens, and I need each story to have its own kind of conclusion, solution, feeling that it's done. But that is its own problem. I am going off the screen. It's not really useful to have that screen up. Unfortunately, the thing is brainstorming all this is going to take me researching and thinking for about an hour or 2 at the very least. It's probably going to be closer to 2 hours. I'm not subjecting you guys to that right now. Maybe that's something you're interested in. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, because then maybe I could do something like that. That being said, I'm definitely not doing it now because I'm a little bit tired. It's a little bit late, and I want to go to bed. I mainly did this right now at this time because I wasn't going to do it otherwise. And I said this in the last video that I made and that I'm not sharing with you guys. It was about a similar length to this one, funnily enough. But lost my train of thought. That's great. Yeah, this is going to be normal stuff for me. I guess we got to get used to it, all of us here. Me and my 0 viewers, whoever watches this after the fact. But yeah, let me know what you'd be interested in terms of editing things. I know this one was weird. So I guess we have a few options, and the 2 people that see this, or whoever amount it may be, you guys have a lot of power here. There's the possibility of me actually showing myself writing. That's a little less likely at this moment, honestly. I think it'll be more so editing, where I'll be doing. I'm thinking I could show the research side of me looking things up if that seems interesting to people, along with me editing the previous chapters that I've done, like the first chapter, and going through those edits and working through that. That being said, the other version of this, me doing this recording that doesn't exist right at all, was me kind of starting to do that and realizing that my brain just knows that that's useless, in the sense that I have this other bigger problem in the story. And I'm not going to tackle a useless problem when I have the other one very much in front of my face. And like the sentences don't sound pretty. I don't like how things flow. There are a lot of things I'd want to fix from that. These aren't, I think none of the pieces I've shown are what I'd call publishable pieces. They aren't stuff I'd be sending out for submission. These are all things that would either sit and I never touch again, or they'd sit until I messed around with them again, improved them, shined them up, which honestly, I think is what the point of what these videos will kind of be, is going to be me doing that to some degree. But let me know what you're interested in, whether that's research stuff or editing things. There's the option technically of me actually doing the writing, but that would probably mainly be me being completely silent and writing, and then trying to make a comment and then kind of getting out of my headspace because I haven't found a way to make the writing part interesting yet, unfortunately, or to even think about it. I say all that as if I've been doing this for a while. I've just been thinking about this for a while, this sort of thing. I've been having this concept in my brain for a long time. Some of you who may be seeing this that may know that, actually. But I think this can be fun. I think this can be informative and sort of interesting. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to stop repeating that now, and I'm going to probably shut the stream off and go to bed. But yes, I will be important information in later on in June. June's coming up now, or it's already June when this is up. Maybe I don't know. So I will be doing another post in June. I know I've had a horrible track record of one so far on the channel, so I will be better because I think this is just more my style. I think the editing of a YouTube video is just a little bit too much for me, which sounds kind of pathetic, but I'm a pathetic person, I guess. But I will be doing this a little bit more often. I'm not going to say that it's going to be even like weekly often, but it will be more often than, a 4-month hiatus. I'll definitely do at least one of these in June where it's going to be not a 20-ish minute video. It's going to be a good sized one, and we'll kind of just see how things go from there. If you want it to be actually live, I can consider doing that rather than doing this thing where I do it offline live and then just post it afterwards. I'm just kind of getting a feel for this right now. But maybe I'll just experiment with how I want to do it, because I don't know how many people are going to be giving me feedback. But yeah, we're done. I'm actually leaving now. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.